All right, guys, it's Happy Thursday, man. Welcome to the Steve Fusile Show. I am, of course, the one and only Steve Fusile. Welcome to the show. Listen, man, we have got a wet and wild adventure today to take you down a journey of maybe the world's most god-awful car salesman that ever existed. If you like the content that we're bringing to you, man, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button at the bottom. We love the comments. We love the watch time. We appreciate everything you've done. We've gotten over 50,000 views already on our channel, and we're climbing in subscriptions, man. So if you're watching the show, I want to thank you very, very much. But now that we've got that covered, I can't wait to get into this. It's not funny. It's not funny at all.
It's totally funny.
It's not funny at all, Michael. It's not funny at all. It's literally god awful, man. It is maybe the worst situation that I've ever heard of. It's definitely the worst situation I've ever seen publicly on the internet regarding the way a salesman handled a customer. I mean,
it's bad.
It's bad. So bad. And I'm not laughing at this situation, but what I am laughing at is that somebody literally thought they could get away with this. And so if you're wondering what that is, man, we're going to bring it up to you. I'm going to show you the full video. I'm going to take you on the hero's journey of this horrific, god-awful story that's breaking this week in the car business. So if you haven't heard about this, man, I want to take you on a little journey. I'm going to introduce you to somebody that you may or may not have seen, and this is Brian Slavin. Brian Slavin is a car salesman at a company called NH Auto Sales in Kenosha, Wisconsin, okay? Brian is not known for his love of puppies, his great work at the SPCA, his volunteering at the old folks home. No. What Brian is known for, folks, is his Calvin and Hobbes impression on a customer's driver's license and the back of a Chevrolet. So I'm going to get into this to you. I'm going to show you what we're going on here. I was sitting on my couch Sunday morning, perusing YouTube, watching the best show ever on YouTube called The Steve Fusile Show. And this popped up on my feed, and, man, I just dug in and dove in. All right, so we're just going to take you full circle into this story, man. It is a journey, so pay attention and follow along. This story is about a wonderful dealership, NH Auto Sales in Kenosha, Wisconsin. These guys specialize in looking at the website. What you would think is just fantastically mid-priced automobiles here, judging by their website, and they just got the greatest thing going on in the world. It's a nice website. When you hit their inventory, what you can see is that we're looking at $39.95s, $36.65s. We're looking at entry-level automobiles that get people to and from work. And this is kind of where the story takes a bit of a bad turn because, look, man, I'm in a business that sells an average of $65,000, $75,000, $80,000 cars, right? And a lot of us are watching this show. That's all fine and dandy. These are wants that we're selling. They're not needs. And what we're dealing with when you're looking at inventory like this, guys, this is people that are buying things that they need to get their kids to school, that they need to get to work. They're looking for reliable, safe transportation to get their family to the groceries that they need. And I'm not pandering to a lower class here of income. What I'm talking about is you've got a responsibility to sell quality automobiles, to treat people with respect, and to treat people with kindness, no matter what price tag you're selling cars. And I think our friend, Mr. Slavin, puppy lover over here does maybe the worst job of all time of treating customers with respect. So let's just play this video right now. I mean, it's awful.
That's what happens. Just trying to see what else is gonna happen. So everyone, what happened? You do that kind of thing. You want to say stupid shit to us? Right here on the bumper, on the bumper.
Alrighty. Bye, guys.
Okay, so I think we've got the gist of that. If if you're watching this, man, and you've ever thought about pissing on a customer's driver's license because they said something ill to you, you should probably get out of this business. There's so much to say about this video, though. Like the Pac-Manning of the video. Just cutting the whole thing in half to start with.
Yeah, it's like, why?
Why? First of all, he broke her license, showed her information publicly on Snapchat, urinated on her driver's license.
On somebody's truck.
Yeah, that's the question. So whose
truck is that?
Whose truck is that, right? Well, we did a little digging.
And also, it's inside.
Yeah. So they've... It's cold in Wisconsin, Michael. It's cold. I guess. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't understand what would drive somebody to do it. I mean, there's been horror stories in the car business for many decades about throwing customers' keys on the roof if you want to keep them there, about doing all these ill things, man, to, pressure people into buying stuff or whatever. But honestly, if you want to be rude, just tell her you're going to send her a license and then don't.
Right.
That's already rude enough. Well,
and she offered, this is part of the story, she offered to pay the money to mail it back to her because she lived an hour away.
Yeah. So I'm going to dive into how she even discovered this. This is pretty wild too. So if I put this tear sheet up on the screen, the customer's name is Leah Jefferson. She's the customer that had her license defecated on. She was contacted by a customer, and this is the quote. So the customer, an independent person, contacted her and said, "Hey, Leah, were you a recent customer with NH Auto Sales? There's a disturbing video, I believe, the owner posted regarding your ID." The text message read, so Leah gets a text from an independent human being saying, "I've seen you on the internet. Well, I've seen your driver's license being urinated on a truck on the internet." And she was stunned to see the video, the quote says, and then that was first posted by Slevin himself, of her driver's license being urinated on. The now viral video shows a man holding Jefferson's license saying, "This is what happens when you say stupid shit to us." I mean, that's pretty rough,
bad.
bro. It's not only bad, man. It's criminal.
Yeah, no, totally.
I mean, it's literally criminal. So I think you were investigating what the Kenosha police had to say. What did they say?
Yeah, they basically called the people immature.
Okay.
And called for other people not to... they were not condoning violence against the immature parties. And they haven't been charged or...
That's what they say?
Yeah, I think... While we understand that viewing this video causes emotional reactions, we cannot and will not tolerate any acts of violence towards the responsible or associated with the business, which I can agree with.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's condoning violence.
Yeah, nobody's
here,
like, don't go burn their building down. But but the funny thing is the reactions online to the the comments and stuff. Funny.
What did they say It's funny about what they said about the cops. Or about the business.
About the biz. I mean, it's just. I mean, you can imagine that the Google reviews and the Yelp reviews are outrageous. In fact, Yelp has totally suspended not only NH Auto Sales business on Yelp, but they've also associated the other car dealership at the exact same location
yeah, so multiple dealers are operating.
Andrews, which I don't know. I assume they're probably one and the same. So Yelp literally has a thing up saying this business recently received increased public attention resulting from an influx of people posting their views to this page.
I've never used that noise, but
that's awesome.
Yeah.
This is.
So basically, everybody in the world piled onto these people. They shut down their business. They shut down their Google. They shut down their page. Now their page is up, which is actually pretty interesting.
Look at this.
So let's take a look at their staff page. It becomes even more of a meme as we go on. This is literally what's connected to their staff page at Jackass Motors or whatever the name of their store is. Yeah, they've got a picture of premium
blinker fluid on there, and underneath it says, "Right turn, Clyde. We couldn't find what you were looking for. A few things could cause this: an old link, a misspelling, or a technical difficulty on our end." Such as us having to fire our whole staff.
such as us literally being piled on by the entire internet for pissing on this lady's driver's license because this is what we think is how you get even with somebody that
People just love to do stupid stuff.
I don't know what's going on.
Sabotage.
Well, this thing takes you an even weirder turn beyond that. So I think that's probably a result of obviously all the piling on from the internet, but these folks went a step further. So NH Auto Sales in the grip of all this, as this is going viral on TikTok, the guy that owns the store said, I got an idea. I know how to salvage this, man. We're going to change our name.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we're going to change our name from NH Auto Sales, Jackass Motors, and we're going to change it to Budget Auto. Okay. Which, you know, in all honesty, pretty
Smart.
Yeah, pretty smart.
Change the name of your business so that all your reviews are bad
Gone.
reviews for another business,
Right.
not yours.
Yeah, right. So we changed the name to Budget Auto. Okay. Well, this is how I find the story. So Sunday I'm sitting there and I get the thing, and here's the deal. Budget Auto already basically exists in a very similar vein. So there's already a Budget Motors just down the road from them, already labeled Budget Motors LLC. And the guy that owns that store, his name is Joe Green. So Sunday morning, Joe Green gets a surprise of his life. And it's in the form of awful Google reviews coming his way. I'm going to bring you Joe's story right now. You've seen the TikTok, and now we know exactly what's going on, but there's a backstory to this. So we know that there's a downside of this situation, and now we want to talk about the upside. So that's the coolest thing about what we got going on here. And the reason why we brought up the urinating car salesman of Kenosha, Wisconsin, is because there's a hero in this story, right? And that hero is our good friend on the screen, Joe Green. Joe, welcome to the Steve Fusil Show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, man, we're glad to have you. I appreciate it. I reached out to you. I was like, man, I hope he wants to come on because I'd really like to hear this. I think this is a sort of a golden hour, not a golden shower of excitement in the car business, right? So we like to have fun, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. So, man, tell me about, so the story goes live when? What day does this thing break out and become a sensation?
That was about a week ago on Sunday. That's when I started getting, some notifications on my phone that we were getting some negative reviews that I soon found out were not actually meant for us.
So you just wake up to a storm of bad reviews coming into your page.
Yeah, and I knew something had to be up because, we've only gotten a few of those in our 12 years in business, and I think we surpassed that amount in like 15 minutes.
What's the number, man? Was it 5? Was it 20? What's the number of the 1 stars that start coming in?
They were coming and going. It had to be at least a couple dozen. People were, once they realized that it was the wrong place, some people were nice enough to go ahead and delete them.
Yeah. Okay.
So who knows? Our main Google page is still in Google timeout.
Is it really? So you're in timeout right now on Google?
Yeah, we're currently suspended for like suspicious activity, and so I've been working with a firm the last couple of days to try to get us back on.
Oh,
Google.
wow! Yeah. I wonder. So, what kind of decrease in business have you seen as a result of that?
It's been kind of busy. It's maybe been business as usual, but we've probably seen. I'm sure there's been people that are trying to find us after seeing a car online that can't find us on Google, can't find our address or something like that. So I'm sure it has hurt business.
Okay. So let's chime back in. It's Sunday morning. You wake up, you get your coffee, you get the Racing Times or whatever the local paper is, whatever you do on your Sunday morning. And all of a sudden the phone's just ding, ding, ding. And you're just getting alerts. Hey, you're bad news. Your dealership's bad news. We hate you. Shame on you. And you're looking at these reviews and what's going through your mind, man? What are you thinking?
I was confused. The first few I actually took the time and like thought out a nice message how to respond. Like, please get in touch with us. We want to know what happened. And I was like, maybe it was a bad day when I took the day off the other day. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, after that, I kind of went on Facebook and I'm like, that was strange. And that's when I saw what happened to that woman's driver's license. And I didn't know we were connected to it in any way at that time yet.
Okay. So you realize you get connected. You're typing out the please get in contact with us and let us figure out how to help you messages that you do when you get a bad review to try to mitigate that problem. And you realize this is a much bigger situation than what you thought of. And so did somebody send you the TikTok or the Facebook, or how did you figure out exactly what was going on?
So I was kind of going down the rabbit hole on that whole story and reading the comments. And at the same time, I saw someone comment that, hey, they just changed their name on Google to something very similar to my dealership's name. I had like a couple regular customers call me that had my cell phone number, some family and friends reaching out to me. And I was just like, oh, this is less than ideal.
I would say less than ideal is absolutely the softest way of putting that, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So let me ask you a question. Had you known these other folks? Have you run into them at the auction? Do you know who they are? Have you ever had any action or reaction or interaction with these folks?
I have not. I didn't know they really existed until that day. Okay. But after the fact, people have told us, where our shop used to be located, they were kind of kitty corner from us for a little bit. Some other people have known them. So I guess I didn't know them, but we very soon were made aware of their existence.
Well, I hate to say it, but I think those guys are a piss poor dealership, if you know what I mean. I think they
Absolutely.
could. What's the term? Piss poor customer service, right? So, what's the story behind it? So, I mean, you've had interaction with this young lady. What you've told me off air is that she's a kind, sweet, nice lady that just wanted to go take a look at a used car. She drove about an hour out of town. Give me her setup to what happened. I know we're going to keep her nameless, and that way she could try to have a life without being the Star Wars kid with the theater accident or becoming a meme. So what happened, man? What was the catalyst of this?
So I guess she was just car shopping, and she happened to leave her driver's license there. They wanted it for a test drive. I don't know why they didn't just make a copy and hand it back to her.
Sure.
But apparently they just hold on to your driver's license while you're driving. And she didn't realize she forgot it there. Later when she went home, she's like, oh, I don't have my driver's license. Yeah. So she reached out to the dealer to say, hey, did I forget my driver's license there? They told her, we don't have it. And she even offered to send them like $5 on Cash App to mail it if they had it or something like that. So they denied still having it. And later that evening, she was contacted on social media by a complete stranger that said, hey, I saw this video with your driver's license in it, and I think you should know that it's out there right now.
I mean, that's wild, right? So for people that hadn't seen it or don't want to watch, this guy basically says, hey, look, you talked to me crazy, and so now I'm going to do something crazy to you, right? We watched the video. We've seen his reaction to that. But, I mean, there are bigger problems for this guy, I would think, right? I mean, than being talked to sideways by a customer. This guy's got some anger in his heart, man. I mean.
Yeah, and based on her demeanor and my interactions with her and just such a sweet, wonderful person that I experienced, I find it hard to believe that she even said anything off, to him.
Okay. So the guy crinkles the driver's license. He folds it in half. He does the old like this, turns it into a Pac-Man, puts it on the truck of a car, on the bumper of a car, and then does the old Calvin and Hobbes on it, right off the back of a Chevrolet. And
yeah, and he recorded himself.
So he put it on Snapchat
and posted it online. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess he thought he'd be safe on Snapchat because for people that don't know, Snapchat, they're short stories that disappear, right? But the thing is you can screen grab that. You can screen record that. And so I guess they screen recorded that. And then, or it looks like the recording that I saw was like a recording of a phone. So it's like the recording of a recording. And so you've got this terrible image of this guy doing the Calvin and Hobbes. And then one of the worst things that came to my mind is I was like, that's a customer's truck on top of it. So that's like somebody's bumper, man. Like, So the poor guy that's got his car in for service to get an oil change ends up with a lube job and part of this story, which is awful. So, I mean, god awful story. But I want to hear about how you decided to remedy this. What was your thought process? How did you get in touch with this young lady? Tell me the steps to what's going through Joe Green's mind. Like, hey, this is not only a problem for me. This is something that was rude that happened to her. Give me the thought process on that.
Yeah, obviously it was a horrible thing that happened to her, and the fact that it was starting to go viral a little bit, that could be overwhelming on top of a bad situation.
Sure.
I live in Kenosha. I am in the used car industry as well. So something that was hurting my business, hurting this woman, hurting my town's reputation, my industry's reputation. And I knew she was car shopping. I think the cars they had there were not the best to begin with. And I thought, I think the best solution for everyone here involved is just let's give this girl some reliable transportation and let's try to make a positive out of it for everybody.
Yeah, no, that's really amazing. That's why I wanted to reach out to you. I mean, the story's got some sensationalism to it. It's a viral thing. It's an awful thing that happened, right, to not only this young lady, but to our business. Part of what we're doing on this show is trying to bring the humanity of the car business. But I guess in order to find the great stories, which is like yours and the redemption of this thing, you got to talk about some of the negatives. And the reality of it is that everybody in the world's not a good person, right? And so it's good to meet you and have you and see your side of the story to try to bring some light into the darkness for this lady and to really try to do something that's kind and generous from your, for not only for your business, but for her and her family. I mean, I don't know the age on this lady, but it looks like by looking at your price point on your vehicles, I'm going through your website, we're trying to find affordable budget transportation to get people to and from work and to and from school and daycare that's reliable. And judging by your reviews, even prior to this, I went through a little deep dive on them, and I found some really incredible things said about you and your family. I want to ask you a question. How long have you been at Budget Motors? How long have y'all been in Kenosha? And I guess the third question is, do you know Kyle Rittenhouse?
Okay, so I don't know Kyle. I've heard a lot about him though.
Yeah, I would imagine, man. There was a bit of a hubbub in your town about that not too long ago. Yeah.
So we were in Kenosha for 10 years. And then all that stuff, Kyle was involved with some of that stuff. So our business took on some damage there.
Sure.
We did relocate as part of that. It has been a good move for us. We did downsize quite a bit after that, but with the inventory shortage and stuff in the pandemic, it actually worked out really well to timing wise to sort of downsize at that time. Me myself, it's hard to believe, but I've probably been involved in the business in some way now in the industry in like about 20 years now. Started as a teenager, doing some web stuff and taking pictures for Craigslist for a couple lots and stuff like that. And,
interesting.
Yeah, so here I am.
Yeah. What drove you to the car business? I mean, if you started as a teenager, was it family that pulled you in, or was it? Yeah.
Yeah. My dad had a little lot with a business partner in Chicago, actually, just a small, maybe like 10, 15 cars.
Yeah.
Kind of landlocked in the middle of the block. And I was doing web stuff for him, and I really wasn't working there, but once in a while it'd be, hey, could you spend the day? Could you talk to that customer? So I became a little bit more and more involved in the business. And I think with the economic downturn in like 2008,
yeah,
their lease was up. And then he asked me, hey, would you be interested in starting a shop with me in Kenosha? I got a good lead on a place to rent. We got room for a service department there. So, hey, help me figure it out. Let's do this. And I said, yeah, why not?
That's great, man. That's wonderful. Tell me about your operation. What are you guys selling every month over there? How big is your lot?
Yeah.
Give me a little background.
Yeah, we could probably pack like 50, 60 cars to fill up the lot.
Yeah.
We do have 3 lifts inside, alignment racks. So we do some service here as well. Still building the business at this location service wise, but it's pretty busy street traffic. There's like a 4-lane road in front here. We try to sell nice cars, disclose anything that we don't fix on the vehicles. We do a lot of reconditioning. everything we sell, we give a 30-day bumper-to-bumper warranty, in-house warranty through us, free of charge.
Okay.
When we tell people, hey, you're getting a car, you don't need anything to do anything on right now, we back that up with the warranty. Of course, there's always a risk with the used car. There's a reason they're cheaper than brand new ones.
Right.
But our game plan is to hope that no one needs to do anything but an oil change in the first few months.
That's great, man. That's really, really great. I love the story that you guys, that you're telling here, judging by your reviews, and I'll go over one right here. This is from Vanquish Media. I'm not sure who they are, but they seem to be a fan. What they did for that young lady was really nice of them, ! They went above and beyond to help her, and they did not have to do that. People on the internet need to be careful and make sure the recipients of bad reviews are the actual perpetrators. Budget Motors is not in any way whatsoever affiliated NH Auto Sales. I saw another one here that says faith in humanity restored. Not even from America, but you can tell that this is a badass car dealership. That's a pretty good one. I like the sound of that. Frank Gaines had to say in a 5-star review, so glad that you are turning a negative into positive by gifting that beautiful, innocent black woman a car. You will be blessed, and I will be a consumer. So it sounds like you earned some fans, man. I was a fan when I saw the stories. I don't know the local channel that I saw it on, and I don't even know how I got connected to this, but probably just my feed in the YouTube algorithm. But I was sitting there, and Sunday morning, I'm just laying around, and I had the house to myself, which is a giant treat, just me and my dog sitting there, and I was like, I'm not going to do anything today but relax. And then I flip on YouTube and I start going through there looking for something to watch and a news story or something, and it I don't remember the title, but it attracted me because I'm sure it said something about urinating car salesman, and I was like, all right, I'm interested in this. So I click on the story, and they tell this horrible story. They don't show the video, but then they go to you, and I was like, all right, I got to get that guy on the show, man. He's doing good things. So, man, I really appreciate you being on here. Let me ask you a question. We've got a good network of people that are watching the show. Our audience are dealers, car salesmen, vendors, service industry folks that from the auto business. Is there anything or anybody that you'd like to be connected to, or some way that we can help you reach out to somebody in your community, be it a big dealer you want to buy cars from, or somebody that you needed help with, or I don't know. Is there anything that we can do on this show to reach out and use the network that we have to help you the way you help this young lady? Is there something we can do for you?
Well, I appreciate that very much. I appreciate the offer. But honestly, I just hope business goes back to normal, that I can just get back to working and not dealing with all the extracurricular stuff that's been happening.
Yeah.
So it's been what started as a stressful week turned into an absolute wonderful week that I will never forget, with all the amazing people that have reached out with such nice things to say. But I will absolutely be happy when I could just go about life like I did a couple weeks ago and just come to work and just work.
That's awesome, man. I love it. Can I ask you one final question? What kind of car did you give her?
So we're keeping that sort of a secret for safety and
fair enough.
Privacy.
Fair enough.
You could see where our price points start.
Sure.
We did give her a car that was ready for sale, lot ready, inspected. Gave her a 2-year aftermarket warranty, because last thing I want is something happening to her car. And
the old no good deed goes unpunished, right? Give her a car, it breaks down, you're like, I got it.
And I did give her 10 to choose from.
Really?
So it wasn't like, hey, you just get the car we really want to get out of here.
Now, that might be the coolest part about this story. So not only did you give her something, you didn't give her distressed merchandise. You gave her something frontline ready, something that had already been reconned, but then you gave her pick of the litter out of 10.
Yeah, I wanted her to be able to, choose what she wanted and needed.
Joe Green, you're an amazing guy, man. Budget Motors in Racine, Wisconsin sounds like an amazing place. The show's a friend of your car dealership, and we hope that we're a friend of your dealership as well. So, man, if there's anything I can do for you in the future, you've got my phone number. You know to reach out to me. And if anybody wants to get a hold of Joe, that's Budget Motors in Racine. You can DM me. You can call him direct. At some point in the near future, you'll be able to Google him. Maybe they can get that all worked out, man. Listen, I pray for you, and I hope for the best for you, dude. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.